This could be the biggest cash grab I have ever seen, ever. Alright, so for those who are new around here, Fleet Command released this week a bunch of new ships, which are in another video, but also, some new updates and of course a new officer. And this new officer is DJ Aoki, otherwise known as Steve Aoki. Now this is a real life person, I am not joking. They've basically done this, they've brought out a Romulan officer in game, but of course this is based on a real life person, Steve Aoki. And of course, people are not happy. I've just been reading some of the comments. Everyone is commenting about this. How could the developers do this? How can they just release an officer based on a real life person? And I didn't really know who Steve Aoki was really until I kind of looked him up. And he is an American electro house musician, record producer, DJ, music executive. Basically, this guy is a really rich guy, and I'm kind of wondering, did he put money into the game? What did he actually do to get himself as an officer in this game? Basically, people are not happy about this, and I wouldn't be happy too. For a Star Trek game to just make up officers based on real life people is just ridiculous. Quite frankly, it is just ridiculous. Could you imagine if we had an officer Louis Tomlinson, an officer Lady Gaga, an officer Izzy Agalia, a Linkin Park officer? It's just kind of ridiculous, and I think everyone's kind of feeling the same way. And even the officer they released, is the stats aren't that great. It is an uncommon officer. It does have, kind of shattered defenses, and it does have war of endurance, but these are not great skills. And quite frankly, I don't know why they've done this. They're basically giving this officer out for free, as long as you keep logging in every day to get the chests. And this is not good. People are obviously very upset, and I'd love to know what the developers think about this. And Steve, if you're out there, I'd love to know what you think about this. Obviously, I think Steve Aoki is a great person, but I'm not sure, for a Star Trek game to do this, to put officers in a game from real life, is quite frankly unprecedented. I've never heard of this before. Could you imagine if they put a real life person into a Star Trek movie? It would just be unimaginable. Obviously they've done this with the TV show. They've done this with some people. People who are probably into sci-fi. Sure, they've done this probably once. There's one example I can think of, but this is just unprecedented for a game. They certainly wouldn't do this normally, and with all the bugs and weird glitches going on, I think the developers could certainly focus on those instead of focusing on Steve Aoki. It's just not on, and that's all I have to say really. I'd love some comments and feedback. What do you think about Steve Aoki joining Fleet Command as a Romulan officer? It's just quite unprecedented. Let's just take a look at his information right now. It says Aoki relishes the adrenaline of combat, the exhilaration of pitting one's strength against one's foe, and the thrill of well-thought victory. Does Steve Aoki really think this in real life? I don't know. The idea of leaving this behind to sit on a safe homeworld disgusts him. It disgusts him. Oh, really? Okay. And while he eventually accepted command of his own starship, he utterly preferred the company of rank-and-file crew than that of his superiors. This is a very generic information right here. Basically, let's keep the conversation going. Please let me know what you think about this. Obviously, I'm not too impressed about all this, and just let me know what you think, guys. That's my rant for today. All right, thanks, guys.